Okay, so I thought I'd share with you a very simple but effective card that we did in class recently. This idea was not original, it's all over the web. It's simply sponging to get this nice background look. Now, for class I did this as a card front and then layered onto the green. It's very, very simple to do on as a one layer card, so that the whole card is just a simple white and you just sponge straight onto it. But for class I tend to do card fronts. This one is 10 centimeters by 14.3 centimeters, purely because if they make a mistake, it's very simple to redo the card front rather than having to throw the whole card and start all over again. Now, given that we were in class and I sort of, you don't want to do lots and lots of sponging and lots of work and then do your stamping last and find that you've stuffed it up. I actually stamped the tree first. So this is Early Espresso ink, stamped up the tree. And my stamp set of this is actually the original old double mounted one, and this one I've remounted using the conversion foam, so I now actually have some of my set in clear mount rather than wood mount. But stamp the tree first, and if you don't like the way it's stamped or where it is or whatever, it's magic paper, stamp it on the other side and go from there. So don't get too hung up on the perfection though, because these cards are handmade and they're made with love, so just breathe and go with it. Now what I've done then is actually using the grid paper, put down some post-it notes. Now I only had the small post-it notes and I just joined them together with some normal tape, and I'm going to use the grid paper just to make sure top and bottom that they line up. Heather will recognise these post-it notes. These are from my card inserts. There we go. And there's the other one. So we've got that bit masked off. Now I wish I had shares in post-it notes, because honestly I go through a ton of them. Because we're going to get a third one, another one, so this is number 7. And we're actually going to slightly tear this one at an angle, make it a little bit interesting. Don't throw either piece out, alright? Put that bit to one side. This bit is going to mask off. So below here is going to be my grass, and then above will be my sky. So my grass I've done with old olive. Get the little sponge wedge. I love the fact you can get 6 sponges out of one of the Stampin' Up sponges, just by cutting them into wedges. I also label mine with colour, try not to get them mixed up. I don't tend to sponge wax straight down, ink it up, and I will start off the side and then just rub straight down like a little shoe polish. Start off. What happens is if you go straight down, you can end up with some interesting marks on the paper. So I tend to start just off my project after I've inked it, and then you just build up the colour. It's a bit hard to see with my hands in the way everywhere. You build up the colour until you're happy with it. If you wanted to add a little bit of brown to it, you could have. Make it a little bit more intense. And when you're happy, you just simply stop. Now, I'll just close that ink pad just because I don't want to be wearing the ink. And we remove this mask. Now you can keep that. Usually if I'm doing this sort of card, I'll make a few at a time. They are simple, they are fairly quick. And now we get the other part. So this was the part I tore apart. A lot of repetitive of the same word. Anyway, and we cover up what we've already sponged, because we don't want any of the green going up into our sky area. This is Daffodil Delight. And also with the top one, I've punched out a post-it note and I've done it on the sticky end. So So this is the adhesive end, and this is the non-adhesive end. The sticky end, I've got a 1 3/8 inch circle punch. I have no idea what that is in centimetres. 3 and a bit. Now you can put the sun circle in this thing, or this time I think I might just put it off to one side, so we haven't quite got the whole circle of the sun there as well. We get our daffodil sponge, and most of the yellow is from the bottom. So I'm not going to worry too much about getting the yellow all the way up here. I'm mainly going to build up the colour from the bottom to the middle. Oops. If you make a mistake, I'm sure there's something we can do to fix it. Alright, ink and paper crafting is very, very forgiving, exceedingly forgiving. Alright, so then you can see it's not absolutely perfect, doesn't matter. Breathe, let it go, it's all good. So, our last colour is pumpkin pie. I think after black, these were the first 4 colours I ever bought as a demonstrator, and I still absolutely love them. So start off over here a little bit and then shoe polish on. And if you wanted a blue sky, then bring in the blue. If you wanted like a reddy pinky sunset like we get with some of the thunderstorms, absolutely bring it in. I've just kept it very, very simple. Just to show you the technique more than anything. I've blended through a little bit where the yellow is. Close that one, and that's that one. And now we just remove everything. Now, this is really, really stark. So I do tend to get my yellow and just go back. I'm not going to colour the whole thing, just to take off some of that stark white contrast. Okay, it's just a little bit too white for me, but you might like it. It's your card. You can do whatever you choose. Let me just tear off this. There we go. Oops. It looks like the background's it's part of my card. Alright, now then it is simply a case of choosing a greeting. Now I've used one of the greetings from the Thoughts and Prayers stamp set where the tree came from, but I didn't want all of the greeting. I only wanted some of it. Now I've got 2 choices. I can get one of the brush markers, and this is thick end, thin line is thin end for writing, but I get the brush marker and I can just simply direct rubber colour it. Or you have the option, if you've got a really steady hand and you don't have the brush markers, you can simply get your ink pad, this stamp, and I'm hoping you can see this, and you literally just tap so that you just ink the top part of the sentiment and the bottom part stays uninked. I'm just going to put that there. I just don't want to put my hand in it. Alright, now you can use a Stamp-A-Majig. I'm a bit lazy sometimes and I tend to eyeball it, and I'm good with it being like that. Now the last bit I did add onto this card were some split pins. I knew them as being called split pins for a very long time, and then when I came to Australia they were called brads. But one of the lovely ladies in my class tells me their actual technical name is a bifurcated rivet. So I thought that was just a little bit mind-blowing. But these are just the little gold brads, and I tend to take my paper piercing tool, and I've got one of the paper piercing mats, and I will go the distance of the sentiment and put one straight in the centre, and then I'll go 1 to this side, 1 to that side, and then I know they're all even, they're all matched up, and I haven't got them going wonky everywhere. So we'll see if we can put the split pins in without getting any ink everywhere. Be careful when you are sponging that you don't, if you do tend to get inky fingers. I've been doing a lot of projects today, my fingers are inked, but if you're at all worried, go and wash your hands, or have a baby wipe or something close by, and then you won't ruin your project just as you're putting your final split pin in, and your finger goes down and you get this lovely fingerprint ink pad impression of your finger, which I guess proves that you made it, and it's absolutely original and unique, but not necessarily the desired result when you're stamping. I've gone and put the card base somewhere. No, I haven't. I've got it just here. So my card base is 14.8 this way, 21 centimetres scored, and then we will get some snail. So like I said, ooh, my snail's run out. Right, when it runs out, throw this piece away that's in my right hand. Keep this bit, and then you just replace it. I don't have a refill on me right now, so we're just going to breathe and go with it. And we make sure we put it up the right way. The number of times I've done that is, you know, embarrassing, but it happens to all of us. And then we line it up, push it down, and there's your card finished. So not a hard technique. You don't need a huge variety of colours or equipment. The post-it notes are invaluable though, and you can create some really beautiful cards with any sentiment you like, and they look really, really pretty. So I hope you enjoyed that quick tutorial, and I'd love to see your creations.